Did you ever think there exists a world of unimaginable extravagance, where fortunes transcend the boundaries of our wildest dreams? We bet you didn't. But the reality is, the fortune and wealth accumulated by the giants of history reveals a tantalizing glimpse into all that we never thought was possible. In today's video, we dive headfirst into kingdoms where fortune soared to unimaginable heights, where money flowed like rivers of gold, and where financial success knew no bounds. Yep, let's dive right into the tale of the business magnates and the masters of affluence, the wealthiest individuals ever. So let's jump right in. Number 10. William the Conqueror. Think about the royal family of England. They're often hailed as one of the wealthiest families in the world, holding up a staggering fortune of $88 billion. Just the thought of their immense legacy and impact can make your mind wander into a world of serious luxury and opulence, right? But what if we told you there's a historical figure whose net worth was so vast, it makes these modern royals look like mere peasants? Yep, that's just as true as it gets. So step back into the pages of history and meet the legendary ancestor who outshines them all, the first king of England, none other than William the Conqueror. At the age of 38, William the Conqueror not only seized control of the British island, but also amassed a mind-boggling fortune. Today, his wealth would amount to a whopping $228 billion. And in case you're curious, around 1/3 came from taxes imposed on Normandy's peasants. And after securing control of the British territory, William the Conqueror augmented his riches through the loyalty oaths and substantial taxes imposed on local barons. With these unprecedented riches, William indulged in a lavish lifestyle, dedicating the majority of his wealth to constructing a magnificent array of over 100 structures, castles, fortresses, churches, and the iconic White Tower, and whatnot. Number 9. Osman Ali Khan. In a nation where towering 27-story houses dot the landscape, there exists a deep realization that none of these luxurious dwellings can even begin to compare with the magnitude of Osman Ali Khan's riches. This remarkable ruler, the last to preside over the princely state of Hyderabad, held dominion from 1911 until the country's annexation by India in 1948. Think about it. You're at the helm of a nation that held the key to the world's diamond trade, where every sparkling gem that graced the globe flowed through your hands. Yup, with a staggering net worth of $230 billion. The Nizam's achievements were far beyond the fields of ordinary success. Despite basking in his enormous wealth, Nizam took a different path, reinvesting the profits for the betterment of his people. That's when he set out on a mission to transform his kingdom into a beacon of progress, investing in infrastructure like railways and airports, education, healthcare, and social welfare programs that would shape the future of generations to come. Yet the ruler managed some extraordinary investments and assets too. Among them were treasures worth over $100 million in gold and silver, together with an astonishing collection of jewels surpassing $500 million. And crowning it all, the illustrious Jacob Diamond, a gem of unparalleled grandeur worth over $50 million. Number 8. John D. Rockefeller. Next up, gear up to be amazed by the remarkable journey of John D. Rockefeller, a man whose boundless productivity thrusted him to become the wealthiest individual to have ever graced our planet in the middle of the 20th century. If you're wondering, it wasn't just his ability to generate wealth that set Rockefeller apart, but his unrivaled drive to optimize every aspect of his life. Imagine amassing a fortune so immense that it defies cognition, a mind-boggling $1.5 trillion over the course of a lifetime. Yes, you heard that right. John D. Rockefeller, with his unparalleled innovation and entrepreneurship, amassed a wealth that surpasses the wildest dream of even the most audacious billionaires in today's world. By the time he took his last breath, Rockefeller's net worth was estimated to be around a jaw-dropping $400 billion. And no, you can't blame him. With his monumental creation, Standard Oil, he held an iron grip on an astounding 90% of the entire US oil market for several decades. Let's talk about his first extravagant expenditure. Yep, you guessed that right. He spared no expense to secure his future by paying to avoid the draft into the treacherous American Civil War. And as Rockefeller's wealth grew, he embarked on a journey to create magnificent mansions that would stand as enduring testaments to his legacy for the entire family. And if that's not mind-blowing, we don't know what is. Number 7. Nicholas Romanov. While we're at these astounding historical figures, let's not forget about Nicholas Romanov, the guy who brought communism to the world. Being the last Russian emperor, his rule unfolded in a manner that would forever shape the course of history. But hey, amidst a backdrop of staggering inequality, a disconcerting reality popped up: a ruler sitting atop a colossal fortune of $300 billion, while his subjects were reduced to consuming grass and dirt. So the question that quickly pops up here is, how did this ruler amass such vast wealth while his citizens were struck with poverty so bad? Well, it was Nicholas Romanov himself who, gripped by apprehension over the potential loss of this oil-rich peninsula to the British, made the momentous decision to sell it to the United States. To truly grasp the lavish lifestyle they enjoyed, one must set their eyes upon the breathtaking palaces that graced the cities of St. Petersburg and Moscow. These magnificent structures stand as a testament to the true grandeur that defined their existence. Number 6. Mansa Musa. In a world where colonialism had yet to cast its long shadow, Mali stood as a beacon of prosperity. At its reign was Emperor Musa I, a figure whose wealth would make even the most affluent modern magnates blush with envy. Yes, you heard that right. This extraordinary ruler was widely regarded as the richest person in history on the face of our planet, a net worth of $415 billion, equivalent to today's money. Of course, what do you expect? In the year 1312, as Europe grappled with dire living conditions including famine, incessant warfare, and impending plagues, an extraordinary shift was taking place in Africa. In this tumultuous era, the Kingdom of Mali seized the opportunity to rise and thrive, positioning itself at the forefront of African prosperity. Just as you'd expect, Musa conquered the esteemed yet bustling trade hub, Timbuktu. Of course, that brought him immense wealth, catapulting him to the status of the richest man on earth. In 1324, Musa embarked on a grand pilgrimage to Mecca, flaunting his vast fortune with a caravan stretching as far as the eye could see. Laden with gold, accompanied by thousands of camels and horses, and surrounded by a massive entourage, Musa left a trail of economic ruin in his wake. The rest, we'd leave to you to imagine. And before we jump to the next billionaire giant of history, don't forget to click on the subscribe button. Number 5. King Solomon. In the revered Bible, he's hailed as the pinnacle of opulence, earning the title of the wealthiest ruler in the world. Yep, we're talking about none other than King Solomon, a figure whose legendary wealth has spoken volumes in history. According to the Old Testament, King Solomon basked in the magnificence of his wealth every year, with a lavish tribute of approximately 25 tons of gold pouring into his coffers. Can you even fathom the weight of that precious metal? For an astounding 39 consecutive years, this ceaseless golden stream flowed, bestowing upon him a level of prosperity that was beyond imaginations. Experts have meticulously calculated that, considering the vast sum of tribute, taxes, and other revenue accumulated during his reign, King Solomon's wealth would amount to an astonishing equivalent of approximately $2.2 trillion in today's currency. Whoa. Number 4. Akbar I. If there's one leader who, despite his unfathomable wealth, was known for his philanthropy and charity, that's Akbar the Great. Let's step into the realm of Akbar I, whose riches amounted to a jaw-dropping $21 trillion. And if that's not enough, brace yourself for another mind-boggling fact. His dominion once encompassed a staggering 25% of the world's GDP. Yup, you heard that right. Let that sink in. Yup, Emperor Akbar truly goes beyond imagination in terms of wealth. Akbar I, renowned for his lavish lifestyle, constructed 3 magnificent palaces in Delhi, Agra, and Fatehpur. These architectural marvels weren't only breathtaking in their design, but they were adorned with such profusion of gold that even a glance would leave Elon Musk himself in awe. Number 3. Shen Song. Next up, let's step into the mesmerizing world of Shen Song, the emperor who reigned over China during a time of boundless abundance, only to bring forth boundless prosperity. From 1067 to 1085, the nation thrived under his visionary leadership, experiencing an era of unrivaled opulence and unbridled growth. During his reign, the poorest farmers found solace in much-needed relief, while the entire nation enjoyed economic growth. Speaking of his influence, Shen Song's dominion extended over a whopping 30% GDP, And oh, it shouldn't come as a surprise that the ruler accumulated a fortune equivalent of $30 trillion. Of course, Shensong's lifestyle was equally lavish. He resided in palaces that continue to stand as icons today. Number 2. Augustus Caesar. Ready to be astounded by the extraordinary wealth accumulated by Augustus? Well, when adjusted to today's value, it would amass to a staggering $4.6 trillion. Yep, such an astronomical net worth may seem implausible at first glance, but when one considers that Augustus personally held dominion over Egypt, a realm responsible for feeding half the entire empire, this matchless fortune begins to make perfect sense. Not just that, Augustus inherited an astounding wealth of at least 10 million gold coins from his uncle Julius. Adjusted for today's value, these coins would be equivalent to a remarkable $200 billion. With such a significant fortune, Augustus embarked on a grand endeavor of constructing roads, monuments, and temples, only to leave an enduring legacy of monumental achievements for future generations to marvel at. Number 1. Genghis Khan. And finally, on to the Mongol ruler whose name evokes images of brutal warfare, devastation, and unprecedented massacres that shook Europe and beyond. Yep, none other than Genghis Khan. In the middle of the chaos and terror he brought, Genghis Khan astoundingly amassed wealth surpassing a staggering $100 trillion in today's value. Nevertheless, his conquest came at a great cost, resulting in the loss of approximately 10% of the world's population over a mere 2 decades. But hey, despite his crazy wealth, he did distribute quite a lot among his subjects, and while his numerous wives and abundant offspring might raise eyebrows, Genghis Khan's vast wealth of $100 trillion saved him there. Now that we've seen the richest people in history and their insane generational wealth, it's time to jump into the next video for some even more astonishing truths.